is better than adulthood. It's basically a conflict between the unconditional freedom versus the restriction. In childhood, the child enjoy the raw emotions. There is unadulterated joy, and there is no restriction. Basically, they can freely do whatever they can do. They are very whimsical. But in our adulthood, we can't do everything by our whimsy, because our societal norms are there and we are bounded by our society. The adults have to follow the societal rules, while the child can freely enjoy and freely express their emotions. In the adulthood, the adults can't freely express their emotions everywhere, because of such norms and such restrictions. And also in our childhood, the child sees everything with very simple view of life. They have the pure joy of watching the simplest thing we the adults thinks it's silly, basically. And there is an advantage of childhood, because first time we are encountering some scene or some scenic beauty, and we are enjoying the first time seeing that beauty. But later on in our life, the lives become monotonous. We are doing the same thing again and again. And then also the adults also think about the aftermath of the doings also. But the what can happen if they do the such things, what can be the result of the things they are doing now. But the child, while they are playing or something doing, they don't think about anything. They doesn't care about anything.
Since the sense of a child, every children, they have the mindset one day they will grow up, one day they will
Yes.
do something. So they are running after upcoming life called the adulthood, using their gumption. So now, don't you feel that that is highly expressive thing for the child or for the children, for which they are eagerly waiting to get the days to come? Just because one of our previous speaker has spoken the same topic, many children at present, they are not ready to enjoy their lifespan. Why? Just because under many rules and regulations they are. So these are very basic and this is the very common system for individual child or for individual children. But still their mindset is one day I will grow up, one day I will be an independent boy or a girl. So what about that?
As you are talking about the expressiveness, recently I talked about the child naturally are very much expressive. They have much dreams. They don't think about the boundaries which they have to follow in the later life in the adulthood. They think freely. Whatever they in our adulthood we think about if we can achieve, if we are able to.
But what about the supportive things? How the supportive things an adult guy gets? How the supportive things an adult girl gets? Equally a child, maybe female or maybe male, they do not get that. Maybe they are highly hypothetical thinking, but still the supportive things are not at all surrounding them. So what about that?
Actually, in our childhood, we are more live in our imagination than reality. But as we grow older and we proceed towards our adulthood, then we live more in our real life than imagination, because we know the consequences of our life. But the child doesn't know the consequences or the circumstances what can happen.
Do you think in a childhood a child really has a sense what he or she is thinking like
No.
an adult guy?
No.
Do you think that a child really has a sense to think what he or she is thinking like an adult guy? Because an adult guy has full of sense. An adult guy has full of knowledge what he or she is doing. whether the thing will impact him in the bad way, whether the thing will impact him in a good way. On that basis, he works on or she works on. So after that, they get the result according to their decision.
Yes.
But for a child, it's quite impossible. For a child, always a guide needed. For a child, always there should be somebody who will be mastering on him or her. So what about that particular sense on which a child is lacking behind? Not like an adult guy, he or she can gain.
Okay, in our childhood, our cognitive development doesn't fully grown, but in our adulthood, it is already completed. We know which gonna be happen, which will be bad or which will be
I'm
good.
not going to disagree with you. I'm highly agree with you to some extent for only one reason. In childhood, a child does not have any sort of responsibility.
Yes,
A child does not
They
have
don't
any
have
sort
any
of
burdens.
foundation. Definitely, it is 100% right. But what about that? Whenever gradually the child is growing up, gradually the things are away from the child. So at that particular point in time, the child is not going to enjoy all the freedom which he has to enjoy in his childhood. Just because the childhood is on and only the Nancy period on which the toddler to a child, this particular age group is highly enjoyable. But after childhood, that not remains at all a childhood. The child's first job starts along with the academical books. The first job starts follow the rules and regulation at home, what the parents are going to give him the task. So now how it's possible for a child to follow so many rules and regulation at a very tender age? But for an adult guy, it's highly manageable.
because our human nature is very much adaptive. In nature, we are by birth. We are not getting everything. We are adapting new things from nature. It's our natural way to adapt things from our surroundings. It is education is also one of the things that we adapt. By riding the cycle, we also adapt the other things also.
Means physical activities you
Yes.
wanted to mean. That's right.
And also, you're talking about the growth of the child from childhood to adulthood. They face many problems. There is the teenage group. It is the between part of the childhood and adulthood. It is the main point when the child grows and knows everything which they will later encounter in their adulthood. The main problem starts from this age actually.
Okay. In childhood and in adulthood, whose contribution more according to your opinion?
Both are important for our society because childhood is our the first pillars to become if the adulthood is a building, then the childhood is the pillars on which our the building is.
floors.
Yes, it is situated. If our childhood is not so much good because there are some parents or other surrounding problems, abuse, some children are getting abused by people. It is physically harassed also. The childhood getting messed. The childhood is messed, and later on it will reflect on the things in the adulthood. It will, like I was watching an anime. There's called a One Piece anime. There a character called Sanji. It faces several physical abuses. His father used to beat him, and his brothers are also quite of his age, but they also taunt him and gives him trauma that later on develops also because he is firstly there is a trust issues builds up, and there are many problems which
Dr.
later.
Albert Einstein was very bad at figures in his childhood. He couldn't solve very simple mathematical problems, and his mother was very worried about that. But afterwards, in his adulthood, he turned out to be the best mathematician of the world. So how is it possible? In childhood, his basis was not good surely, because for that reason he couldn't solve the mathematical problems in his childhood.
Sir,
Yes.
I just said that our nature is quite adaptive. We adapt many things, and there is a thing the things we adapt by practicing again and again, we can develop our levels. And as
by
is,
practicing, you can
But-
you can level up your knowledge.
and
But
also it's
from
IQ.
Einstein, you are comparing Einstein
No,
to a very simple person who just by virtue of practicing rises.
his IQ is one of the
Super.
factor. Yes, sir.
But then why in his childhood he got a very poor figure, very sorry figure? In his childhood,
He might there are surrounding problems that we are not know very much well. Like he might find the thing initially problematic, but afterwards he created.
something clicked.
Yes, sir.
So is it not miraculous?
Of course, sir.
So it doesn't have anything to do with the child. It is independent of the child.
Because he is one of the exceptional cases.
Exception. In case of general,
In case of general, the child actually enjoy the things. Their learning also can be enjoyable, because the way you are teaching the child, it's also factors. But there are many teachers who are very much abusive, who throws sticks on students. The child gets stubborn. They will promise that I will never gonna do this or that. But if the same thing can be possible if the teacher with tender care, and if there are many teaching improvements can do to learn the children also.
there are some children so very corrupted that it is not possible for any teacher to change them, whether by giving love or whatever you say. So they are in their case only beating is the.
Only possible.
So you are saying something ideal.
So actually, every person cannot be equal. There are some follies in each and every person.
The polish can be removed with the passage of time.
Even there are some good students who are in childhood very much excellent, but later on, so with the peer groups he is or she is attending,
Spoiled.
spoiled.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.